Hey, what's going on, guys? So today I just wanted to kind of share my final thoughts on this upcoming patch. Now that I had a couple days to kind of just look over all the patch notes, also saw the Blade & Soul live stream, so got even more information. And now we kind of know like exactly almost everything that's coming. Of course, there might be some ninja nerfs. NCSoft's kind of known for that, but at least we'll know kind of the in general update that is coming on July 25th. Just wanted to share my final thoughts, kind of give like a pros and cons. We're just going to start off with the pros and some of the majority of the things I really think are really great changes. I will say right off the bat that honestly this is probably the best patch of 2018. Most of the patches this year have had like a little bit of good changes, but then a lot of bad changes. And the problem is that the bad changes completely overshadow all the good changes that are in that patch. Most of the patches have been like that. This is one of the few patches this year that's had a lot of really great changes and maybe a couple bad changes, which I'm really happy about, and I hope they kind of continue this route. So going over some of the pros, we're going to start off with the Merchant of Wonders. So the Merchant of Wonders will be returning to Blade & Soul. This is a little different because it won't be as an event. He'll be actually just added to a certain amount of hard mode dungeons in Blade & Soul. Jonathan did confirm he won't be here permanently, but they don't have a release date when he'll be leaving, so we don't really know how long he'll stay. So I'm just going to assume he's going to be here for quite a while because he's been there for quite a while in Korea. So some of the hard mode dungeons are basically the endgame focused ones like Sandstorm Temple, Drowning Deeps, Hollow's Heart, any of the hard mode dungeons that are just more endgame focused. And they're adding him in there as an RNG chance to spawn once you complete the dungeon. One of the things I really like about this with the Merchant Wonders is it just gives another incentive to run hard mode. A lot of factors play in, basically like if he has like a really low drop chance. If he has a drop chance of like less than 10%, I feel like it probably won't be worth it. I'm hoping he has a decent drop chance. And then another factor is if he actually drops good stuff. On the live stream, they showed a few costumes he dropped, which are cool, but my main focus is, are they going to drop good materials? Like, in the past, he's dropped really good material items, like he would give you, like, 2 premium transformation stones for, like, 100 gold. Like, a really great deal on some hard-to-get materials. I'm hoping they still kept that and he dropped some good stuff. We won't know until people start running hard mode dungeons, but if that's the case and he does drop some good materials, this would be a great way and a great incentive to want to run hard mode. I definitely do like this though because hard mode is not rewarding enough, and if they put the Merchant Wonders and he has some good stuff, it definitely will make it worth running, and I'll probably actually run it myself. So this is one of the changes that I really do feel like is a great one. We'll just have to see how it plays out once he comes into the game. Another change I actually liked a lot is they actually reduced the cost to upgrade your pet auras. With this patch, all the stages will get a cost reduction, so they'll cost less pet pats, which is great because pet pats are kind of a hard item to get. There's not really a good way to farm them. You either get them from events or you have to spend like over 100 gold from the marketplace to purchase the pet pods and transfer them into the pet pats. So personally, I feel like reducing the cost of these is great. There will be higher tier stage of pet auras, but I feel like it's definitely necessary to reduce the cost of them just to help people keep up a little bit. Besides that, another great item change, quality of life change I would call it more, is the Divine Greystones. They now will be bound to account. This is great because a lot of people in the past events have Divine Greystones on their old characters, or maybe they ran Scion's Keep on multiple characters. Now they can transfer it to their main character and upgrade maybe their soul badge, or use it for something else. So this is a really nice change because then they're just not stuck on your character doing nothing. This was kind of a about time item change. I feel like this should have been done a while ago, but I'm glad they're finally listening. Next up, in my opinion, is they need to make Hive Queen wings account bound too, just like they have Raven Feathers account bound. Definitely need to do that eventually. Hopefully they will, but the Divine Greystones is a great quality of life improvement to make them account bound. Besides that, we have even more quality of life improvements for the Blade & Soul player base. For example, if you want to buy your Divine or Tiger bracelet, before you had to do 10 runs of Naru Santum to be able to purchase it with Draken Cores. With this new patch, you'll be able to buy it without any achievement runs, so you don't have to do Naru Santum ever if you don't want to. You literally just get your Draken Cores and purchase this immediately. This is a great change because it'll help players gear up way quicker, and I think NCSoft saw that, you know, new players fresh out of the story cannot complete Naru Santum, especially with the rage timer being reduced to 5 minutes. That boss is way too hard with 62 million HP for a new player with fresh story gear to try to complete 10 times to get their bracelet. It's really not a good idea to make that system, and it's just very frustrating for new players trying to get their bracelet. So now literally you can just purchase it right off the bat. So Really like this change, and this is for all the accessories for Oath Necklace, all the legendary ones. So all the new players can just get their Draken cores and buy their gear. They don't have to worry about doing any dumb runs. Really great change. Also, they reduced the cost. Originally, you needed 200 Draken cores for the bracelet. Now you only need 100, so that's 100 less, which is a big deal because you can use those Draken cores to buy maybe your legendary belt or something like that. So really great changes, just honestly helping new players gear up quicker. And I feel like this is just a great quality of life change for the new player. So there's another really big change coming with this patch, and it happens to be with helium cores and then the runs needed to buy these items. So right now you need 250 helium cores to buy the quick grip gloves or any of the helium legendary accessories. With the new patch, you'll only need 200, so that's a 50 helium core reduction, which is pretty nice because you only get like 1 or 2 of these for each Hollow's Heart run or Starstone Mines run, etc. So it's not like you're getting a ton of these at a time. Saving 50 is pretty damn nice. And then another really big change, this is huge. Right now, if I want to buy this helium bracelet chest for my new bracelet, the upgraded one, what I would have to do is 100 runs of Sandstorm Temple to get the Wheel of Torture achievement to be able to buy this. So that's a really huge grind. Doing 100 runs of the same dungeon is quite a long time. If you only did it 1 time per day, that'd be over 3 months to get this damn bracelet. So obviously you have to spam this dungeon a lot. And I had friends who did this dungeon 100 times within a week, which is, in my opinion, crazy. But they got the bracelet. But now with this new patch, you only have to do 10 runs for all these. So if you want the quick grip gloves, you don't need to do Hollow's Heart 100 times. You only need to do it 10 runs. Same thing with the bracelet. With the new 25th patch on July 25th, you'll only have to do 10 runs of Sandstorm Temple to buy the bracelet. So that's a 90 run reduction that you don't have to do. So this is a huge change. And I know there are some people that are going to be upset because it's like, I ran 100 runs to get this bracelet, and now you're telling me people can just do it 10 times and get the same bracelet. I do feel like that is a little frustrating. I would have mind if NCSoft maybe gave you guys like a special achievement or something to at least show off, you did the 100 runs, before this update. I understand, the frustration of that, but I do feel like it is necessary because most people don't have the time or energy to run this dungeon 100 times in a row. The majority of them are just going to do this dungeon maybe once per day, so you're looking at over 3 months to get this dumb bracelet, and by then there's probably going to be a new item you have to get, and you're just stuck in this loop of never gearing up in time. So this is a necessary change to help people just gear up quicker and keep the game alive, because if you can't gear up at a quick pace, people are going to quit because it feels like you're drowning, because every time you get close to upgrading, they have a new item up that you have to upgrade, and it's just this endless cycle of being behind. So only have to do 10 runs is really great in my opinion. Again, I understand the frustration, but just know this is helping the whole game in general. So this is a big change, so just wait for the July 25th patch because only 10 runs you'll be able to get your bracelet. I know I'll get mine by then because I only have to do 10 runs, which is huge. So this is one of the biggest changes in my opinion. Definitely really going to help people gear up way quicker. This next really great change is one I really like a lot, and it's kind of finally needed to be done. It's taken them quite a while, but I'm glad they're finally putting it in. And it happens to be with the solar energy items. So you get 4 solar energy per day from doing the daily challenge. And if you look at this list, a lot of these items are really freaking outdated. Like forging orbs, these items are like really, really bad. Like these items are for people for like trying to get baleful and syrup stages. Like these are really outdated items. Even these gems are very, very bad. So this needed to be updated with a new list of items you can spend your solar energy with. Like, I've been just saving mine because there's literally nothing good in here for me to buy. So finally with this patch, they're going to be adding better stuff. They're going to be adding all the other soul badges. This has been highly requested for a very long time. You can finally buy your Courage soul badge. You can finally buy your Sagewood soul badge for solar energy, all the newer ones. So this is a really great change to help people get their soul badge quicker, because before this, the only way to get your Courage soul badge was to spend like 7 gold a piece for each token, which is very expensive. So really like this change a lot. Also, they're adding some good new endgame materials. For example, you can buy a blood pearl for 20 solar energy a piece. Also, you can get the obsidians, and you can actually transmute your black obsidian into higher stages with solar energy. Another way to get your obsidian in an easier fashion by just saving up your solar energy and buying them from here, which is really great because honestly, obsidians are pretty hard to get. They're not like a really easy way to get them. So using solar energy is a really great change. Also, you can get High Queen hearts for 30 solar energy apiece. Like, just a lot of really endgame items that a lot of people need to get into a Ranzu and other stages. So you're going to have this still list. So like if you're a new player, you can still get, you know, your Forging Orb and crap like that. But it's going to be better for everyone in general because the higher tier players can actually use their solar energy for something good. So I really like this change a lot. It's been a while and I'm glad they're finally updating this so you can actually use their solar energy for some good stuff. Last but not least with this patch is of course the new event coming. Well, it's actually kind of a rerun because Fortune Falls was last year, but there's a lot of great items in here and I really like this event because it's kind of going back to the old style of events. In the past and kind of the beginning of Blade & Soul, events have always been something you can run on multiple characters. Some of the oldest ones like the Viper Cavern one, I think that's the name of it, and a couple others, where you could run it with really low gear. All you had to do was the little special mechanics. And that was really fun because then you don't have to worry about your gear store. You can do on multiple characters. And you get a lot of really great things like sacred oils and stuff like, and costumes from the event. It was a really great way to gear up and just help your characters without having to be super high geared. And I feel like they kind of strayed away with that with the past couple events. You know, they've been kind of more gear focused, like the Rising Soul event where you had to be able to run Ebondrate Lair and like Nari Sanctum. Like, it's really forcing new players to have to run these dungeons that are kind of required for more higher gear players. So I like that they're going back to their original event type format where this event you can literally run it on every single character. The event dungeon is very easy to run. It's just a simple mechanics. And then all you have to do is in-game fish. You know, you just press these nets and you get these little fish items. So it's very new player friendly and old player friendly. And so I like that they're going back to that type of style. Also, a really great change is you're going to be able to get a free pet aura. So you can get all the way, I believe, what stage is it? Let me double check. I believe you can get to the Awakened Gusty Hanmoon. You get a free pet aura up to this stage from this event. A really nice thing is that from the Rising Soul event, to get your Awakened Ascending Soul, it actually was RNG. So you could fail the chances to get it. With this new event, they took the feedback and now you can get the free legendary pet aura without RNG. So it's literally a guaranteed chance. So I really like that they listened to the player base and changed that because I think originally it was going to be RNG. They were just going to keep that format. But due to all the negative comments about, you know, the dumb RNG with the Rising Soul event, they decided, you know what, we're just going to take that out completely and you can get this guaranteed as long as you do the event. I like that they listened to the player base. That's a great change because if they kept the RNG, I feel like a lot of people would have been very, very upset. So I'm glad they did that. Overall, there's some great rewards with the event dungeon. If you don't need the Hanmoon, you know, legendary pet aura, you can get some other good stuff like Sacred Vials, you know, pet pats, stuff like that. So overall, this event is really, really great, and it's just going to be really good for new players and old characters. Really like this style and really like some of the rewards because a free legendary pet aura is pretty expensive to get. And considering it's guaranteed, there's really no excuse that why you don't have it by the time this event ends. So I really like this event a lot. So the last thing I kind of want to touch on is kind of a pro and a con, just because both of them are kind of a good change and a bad change. It's basically going over the daily challenge and the weekly challenge changes. So if you guys don't know, the daily challenge is getting a nice buff. With the update, it will give 5 gold guaranteed for each day you complete the daily challenge. And then you also get a reward chest, which is really similar to the weekly challenge chest. It'll be like this, but of course it'll be reduced materials. Obviously you won't get, you know, up to 16 sacred orbs per day. It'll be less, but you will be getting some materials from that. So you'll get your 5 gold per day and you'll get extra materials and stuff like that. So it is a nice change because every day you can make a lot of gold, which is really nice. But one of the things they did with that, and their reasoning was to counteract it, is they actually reduced the weekly challenge gold by a huge amount. So right now, you like, for example, you're looking at Snowjade Fortress, and you're making 22 gold per week just from this raid with the premium membership. With the changes, each raid will only give 6 gold and 50 silver. Without a membership, I believe it's around 5 gold, which is pretty bad, honestly. And that's for each raid. And the worst part is that's even for the new raids. So the 2 new raids coming out are only going to give 6 gold and 50 silver each with a premium membership. And that's really disappointing because I was thinking they were going to give over 22 gold a piece, more than Snowjade Fortress. So I was thinking, oh my gosh, we're going to be making, you know, 70 plus gold a week. You know, like I was thinking it's going to be a really nice change and it's going to be a nice thing to run on multiple characters. Now with these changes, honestly, my desire to run weekly challenge is pretty low because not only are you reducing the gold to a low amount, you're also taking out the weekly challenge reward materials by a lot. So you're nerfing this and you're nerfing the gold. And I get you're trying to counteract it to give more to the daily, but I feel like this was just an unnecessary change because, like, why take this out? This is a great way for new players and just anyone in general to make a lot of weekly gold and make a lot of materials. And I get, again, you want to counteract it with the daily challenge, but why even do that in the first place? Why not just give both? Because it's already grindy enough in this game where you need a shit ton of moonstones and moonstone crystals. You need a shit ton of gold to upgrade. So why not just give both of these? Giving both of these would be a great way for people to gear up faster. And I feel like that's very important to keep the game not too grindy. And I just feel like doing this is not a good idea. And I like that they made the daily, again, that's why it's a pro and a con, because the daily challenge change is nice. You know, I'm happy I'm going to be getting 5 gold per day and more materials from the daily challenge, but I don't like that you're reducing the weekly challenge because honestly, I don't see myself running this on more than just my main character. Maybe not even my main, honestly, because it's going to be a lot of work for only 6 gold a piece. Not really liking this change at all. I just feel like they could have kept both and been perfectly fine. This is probably the biggest change I don't like. A lot of people were upset about this and don't really agree with their change on this for sure. The last change I'm really not a fan of is the Soulstone Plains changes. So what they're going to be doing is giving you less soulstones and giving you more soulstone crystals. And the reason why I feel like this is a bad change is it's going to make the cost of transformation stones and even premium transformation stones go up in pricing. Because how you craft these are from soulstones. You can't use the crystals. What's the best way to farm for soulstones? From Soulstone Plains. But now you're going to get way less of these and more of the crystal versions. I also don't really like NCSoft's like mass genocide of all the freaking tradable materials. Like they've done things with Elysium orbs, reducing those, sacred orbs, even moonstones, and now soulstones. Like I feel like they just are like on this mission to reduce ways to get tradable materials. And I get, you know, maybe if you're a new player, you can get more soulstone crystals to upgrade your gear, but most new players are not even going to try to attempt Soulstone Plains because it's open world PvP, so any endgame whale is just going to instantly one-shot you. It's not a really good way to farm there. And then last but not least, most players don't even need a lot of Soulstone crystals. Really the main thing players need is moonstone crystals and Elysium orbs or Elysium crystals. Like you don't really need a lot of soul stones to upgrade your gear. So I feel like this change is not going to really help out. All it's really going to be doing is making the cost of transformation stones more than they should be, and it's also going to increase the cost of soul stones from the marketplace because it's a less way to get them now because they got reduced in how many you get from Soulstone Plains. Not really a fan of this change. I feel like they should have done this. Just leave the tradable materials alone. NCSoft, stop, you know, nerfing them. So really not a fan of this at all. I feel like it's kind of disguised as like a good change because like, hey, we're giving you more soulstone crystals, but we're going to take out the tradable version so you don't get those anymore. Not really liking this change, but you know, not a horrible change, but I feel like the prices will go up just a little bit. Overall, I'm pretty happy with this patch. As I said, there's a lot of really great changes, and, you know, just a few ones I disagree with. But in general, this is definitely probably the best patch we've had in quite a while. So I'm very happy with this. I hope they keep going this direction. I really like all their quality of life improvements that they made with this patch. I feel like it's definitely necessary to keep players in this game because you don't want this game too grindy. Obviously, there should be a grind because it's an MMORPG, but if it's too grindy and too much work, I feel like a lot of people are going to leave, and then it's just going to leave the endgame whales to stay, and then by then the game's going to be really dead. So I do like these changes. I hope they keep making more quality of life improvements and just keep making the game more fun and less grind and just more enjoyable for everyone. So like this patch a lot of great changes for new players, a lot of great changes for mid-tier players. Overall, great patch. Hope they keep it up. Let me know what you guys think about this. Do you disagree with some of my pros and cons? What's some of your favorite things and what's some of your least favorite things from this patch? Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you guys on July 25th with that new patch.